In India, election season is never over. In fact, we've barely caught our breath from the big general election, and now it's time for the Maharashtra election. And this is a big state where the stakes are high. In fact, in a jolt to the Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, more than 20 of his leaders and office bearers have left his party and rejoined Sharad Pawar. And these resignations come at a time when there were a lot of rumors that people in the Ajit Pawar camp, after the drubbing they got in the general election, were willing to return to Sharad Pawar's fold. This is according to a report from NDTV. Among those who switched sides back to Sharad Pawar is Ajit Pawar's leader, Ajit Gavhane. Now, he was the party's president at Pimpri-Chinchwad. Pimpri-Chinchwad is a cash-rich township which was really important to Ajit Pawar. Remember, he has two important spaces, Pimpri-Chinchwad, where a lot of the leaders have now gone back to Sharad Pawar, and his own stronghold of Bharamati, which he lost out, where his wife contested, he lost out to Supriya Sule, who is Sharad Pawar's daughter. Now, Maharashtra's assembly elections will happen before October this year, even though the Election Commission has not yet formally announced those dates. Let me tell you why this is such high stakes. Maharashtra is an extremely rich state. It has a GDP on last count of $435 billion, contributing nearly 13% of India's total GDP. Tremendous agriculture, industry, natural resources, ports, tourism. And let's not forget the financial capital of Mumbai. The big battle is on. And in House Pawar, the dragons are dancing. Let me give you a backstory of what has happened so far. Last year, in 2023, Ajit Pawar led a rebellion against his uncle and the NCP founder Sharad Pawar, splitting the party into two entities. Sharad Pawar stayed with the opposition, but Ajit Pawar joined the BJP. He effectively joined the Mahayuti government. You'll hear a lot of that, which is the BJP plus Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. Ajit Pawar was made Deputy Chief Minister. Now, in the big election result that we got in June, on the 4th of June, the India Bloc, which is the opposition, known in this state as the Maha Vikas Aghadi. This is Uddhav Thackeray, Sharad Pawar and the Congress. So MVA bagged 30 out of the 48 seats. The NDA, or the Mahayuti standee, was 17. Compare that to the previous election where the BJP-led government won 41 seats. The Frontline has analyzed these numbers, and the assumption, if the same people who voted in the general election voted exactly the same way in the state election, this is what it would look like. The MVA, or Uddhav Thackeray, Sharad Pawar and Congress, would have the upper hand and win 157 seats in the state election, and the NDA would only get 128 seats. But it's not that simple. So we have to hold our horses here. If we look at the vote share, it's very close. MVA has 44.9 and NDA has 43.54. So it could go either way. Now, the results in the general elections were particularly bad for the BJP. The BJP won 23 seats in 2019. It came down to 9 seats in this election. This was the first time since 1998 that the BJP scored single digits in the state of Maharashtra. Now, I'll tell you why all of this is particularly bad news for Ajit Pawar. There are 3 main reasons. One, for the BJP, it turns out that taking in Ajit Pawar neither benefited the BJP, nor did it dent Sharad Pawar in any way. Now, both Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar had the bulk of the MPs and the MLAs with them when they made those switches, but the alliance ultimately damaged the BJP. According to an article in The Hindu, factors like poor candidate selection and festering regional rivalries among local leaders really hurt the coalition's performance in the general election. So that is something the BJP is going to want to undo. As for Eknath Shinde, some believe that the BJP has a history of sort of changing the chief minister right before a major state election. That might also happen in the case of Maharashtra, and it's something he's going to be worried about. The question about Ajit Pawar, though, is much more complicated. His faction of the NCP won only 1 seat out of the 4 it had contested. According to Pune-based analyst Rajendra Pandharpure, the NCP's vote base has always been Marathas, with a large section of Muslim and Dalit voters, as well as a section of OBCs. Apparently, the secular vote base did not transfer to the BJP alliance and stayed with the opposition, and that is what hurt Ajit Pawar. His voters did not follow him. The second main reason is senior Pawar now is playing his cards and he's sending very clear messages. In June, 83-year-old Sharad Pawar undertook a 3-day tour of Bharamati, which is Ajit Pawar's stronghold, along with Pawar, his grandnephew. Now, Pawar is a newbie in politics. He is Ajit Pawar's older brother's son, Srinivas Pawar's son. And it turns out that Sharad Pawar is planning on actually fielding Pawar against Ajit in the stronghold of Baramati. The two held apparently a Janta Darbar in Baramati, and they met with traders and doctors and farmers. This is according to The Hindu. According to political analyst Vivek Bhavsar, after the Lok Sabha boost, Sharad Pawar now really intends to end his nephew's stronghold over the Baramati assembly seat, and he's sending a very clear message that the family is now alienating Ajit Pawar and he's no longer welcome back. Point number 3, let's not forget Maharashtra is also home to the RSS in Nagpur, and the RSS is not happy with Ajit Pawar either. The RSS affiliated Marathi weekly Vivek has written an article blaming the BJP's poor performance in the state on its alliance with Ajit Pawar. This is what it has said. This is the English translation. It said that every BJP worker, while narrating the reasons for the failure in the Lok Sabha polls in Maharashtra, starts with the alliance with the NCP. It is clear that the workers of the BJP have not liked joining hands with the NCP, and even BJP leaders know this, end quote. Now, the article also says that the BJP is the only party in the country that follows a natural process of making leaders out of its workers. And the article says that party workers have now felt that that process has been undermined. And I'm quoting here, it says, it is important that the party introspects on who it is giving these posts to, original party workers or those who have come from the outside, end quote. Now, these are the 3 reasons why Ajit Pawar's doors seem to be closing around him, and it looks like he's being left on the outside. On the other hand, there are several things working for the Mahayuti alliance, which is the BJP Shinde-Ajit Pawar alliance. To begin with, there was recently the Maharashtra Legislative Council elections, which was a huge win for the ruling party. It came as a massive setback for the opposition, with the ruling party actually sweeping 9 out of the 11 seats in the upper house. The Congress, in fact, saw 7 of its 37 votes being split because there was a lot of cross-voting, and that's a separate story, but it had some of its candidates actually lose out. There's also a theory among analysts that said that the anti-incumbency, which was against the centre, which was a big factor in the general election, is not a factor in the state election. Also, it turns out that while there are several issues in the state of Maharashtra, for example, for agriculture, milk, onion, grapes, and soybean have not been getting the prices that they actually want, so the farmers are upset. Private sugar mills are exploiting farmers and drowning them in debt because they're sort of strong-arming the corporation mills out of the picture. Roads and highways are in bad condition. The health system is in desperate need for repair. But the opposition has sort of failed to turn all of this unhappiness into anti-incumbency and build a narrative against the government. The opposition seems a little lax after their win in the big general election. They don't seem to be doing much on the ground. Now, apart from that, the Maharashtra government has announced a Ladli Behin policy where it will give 1,500 rupees to 2 crore women across the state every month. Now, this is a hurriedly announced policy, but if they can execute it well, it could work for them. They've also now, in response to the Ladli Behin policy, announced a Ladla Bau, or brother policy for young men. It's an internship with a stipend from government for unemployed youth. And the state does have an unemployment issue. In fact, look at this visual, which was the turnout in Mumbai for a job call from the airport. These are all young men in need of jobs. Besides this, there is the Maratha reservation issue, which the current state government was not able to fully resolve, and Ajit Pawar was among the faces that were being blamed for it. But at the same time, the opposition has not managed to turn that into a real issue either. Now, the real fight going forward is going to be between Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar, because sources say that the alliance will only have room for one of them before the big election. Now, Eknath Shinde would like to avoid a situation where the BJP changes the CM right before the polls, and Ajit Pawar would like to avoid a situation of being dumped last minute or being slighted by being offered like very few or no tickets at all to contest. He's already been alienated by Sharad Pawar or Senior Pawar. He can't go back there. Sources say the BJP is now asking Ajit Pawar to find a different seat to contest altogether and give up his favourite Baramati and pitch his son Parth instead to avoid embarrassment. So that doesn't look very positive for Ajit Pawar from the BJP either. Ajit Pawar may have miscalculated his move when he switched from one side to the other and find himself completely out in the cold. If all his leaders join senior Pawar, the family will have no use for him. And the BJP will be keen to undo the mistakes that it's made in the past. Maharashtra for now seems like an even fight between the two sides, but many things could change before the votes are cast. The stakes are extremely high, but more so for Ajit Pawar than for anyone else. Leave me a comment if you think Ajit Pawar is going to wind up on the winning side and what you think that winning side is likely to be. Also, big shout out to Zen, Memin and the team at Memesis for giving me a teleprompter. I now have a teleprompter so I can give you more complicated stories. It's easier to deliver them. For those who are watching at home, please like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you can and you're so inclined, sign up for our membership as well and support us financially. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.